that happens in your life and you're like, I wish my parents would have taught me that. Life has been a good but a tough teacher for me. But the older I get, the more I wish my parents would have taught me certain things so I could have been more prepared for life. And it would have not felt like life is slapping me in my face from right, left, and center. Disclaimer. But the more I think about it, the more I realize that my parents really did their best for me and they taught me whatever they thought it would have been useful for me. So I can't really blame them because I don't know what their parents taught them about life. Either way, I love my parents anyways, and I'm thankful for everything that they've taught me. And I think some lessons that I've learned was definitely necessary for me and my growth and has made me who I am today. So today I'm going to share with you 15 things that I wish my parents would have taught me. And I really do hope that you watch this till the end because I want to make sure you're not going to make the same mistakes I made and wouldn't go through the same thing. But before that, let's have a sip of this coffee. I did good. Okay, I feel like I have a lot of energy. I don't know if it's coffee effect because I literally just had one sip. Number one, what everyone thinks of you doesn't necessarily make you a good or a bad person. So just because so-and-so doesn't like you, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not a likable person. Or just because your friends used to make fun of your outfits, it doesn't mean that you don't have a good taste in fashion. Number two, in life, you shouldn't always seek for success as an outcome, but also value your progress in the journey. I have been always hard on myself growing up. If it was in terms of my school grades growing up, if it was in terms of me and the way I presented myself in front of other people, and everything I tried to do, I had to make sure that it's going to be perfect at the end. And I think it's because of the expectations that my parents had of me, even though I know they wanted the best for me. So a lot of times, if I would try something for the first time and I would fail, or I would make mistakes, I would blame myself for it. And I would think of myself as someone not worthy to have that thing or to have that outcome or result. And as a result, it made me a perfectionist, which is one form of self-sabotaging. And I'm still working through it up to this day. Number three, I don't have to do things that I don't want or like to do just so I can make other people happy. I don't know about you, but in my culture as a Persian, I was taught to always make sure that everybody in my family always likes me, that I'm always pleasant for other people, that I'm everyone's favorite. While that was easy to do or easier to do as a kid growing up, especially being in your own family and only your own relatives as a circle, but once you step out into the real world, you realize that no matter what you do, there's going to be always that one person that ain't going to be happy with you. And I needed to learn to not fixate on that and accept the fact that some people are just not going to like me in this world and it's normal and it's okay. And I shouldn't blame myself for it or make myself feel bad about it. Number four, don't be nice, be kind. It's easy for people to act like they're nice to you and they care for you and fake it, but it's not easy to fake being kind. Do you know why? Because it takes a different level of energy and effort that not everybody's willing to invest in you. Number five, I wish they would have taught me to not fixate my whole life purpose based on one thing. You know, growing up as a kid, everybody keeps asking you, what do you want to do when you grow up? And me being the kid I was, I chose being a doctor as a path for my future. But as I grew older and ended up in the university, I got exposed to different opportunities like entrepreneurship and more. And I realized that what I really want to do with my life is having a purpose of helping people and having some sort of impact in people's lives. And being a doctor wasn't necessarily it. Later on in life, I realized I'm such an empath that I would have not been able to even see somebody bleed in front of me, let alone becoming a heart surgeon. I wish they would have taught me that I'm allowed to make some reroutes in my life until eventually I find my purpose and passion in life. That I don't have to do just one thing for the rest of my life. Number six, I wish they would have taught me that being a good girl would only take you so far in life. And as Priyanka Chopra said in her interview, good girls don't make history. Bold girls do. Being a good girl can sometimes mean keeping up with a certain image other people have of you and not risking that. And forget about ever speaking up your own opinions or bring up the fact that you could disagree with someone because God forbid that person is not going to like you or is going to think that you're not a good girl. But you look at anyone, especially women who have made it in the history, they stood up for something. They spoke up when everybody else was being quiet. They chose to stand up for their decisions and the choices they're making in their life. So my girl, don't try to be a good one, be a bold one. Before I tell you number 7, hey you, if it's your first time here, I'm Dee, welcome to my channel. I make videos that are committed to help women become the director of their own lives. So if that sounds like you, make sure to tag along the journey. Number 7, instead of telling me to not trust people, teaching me how to choose the right people to trust. I feel both my mom and dad have gone through a lot in their life, and I noticed that's what made them unable to trust people at times. But obviously, you can't go throughout your whole life not being able to trust anyone, because trust is actually one of the key foundations to a good, happy relationship, friendship, or even partnerships. So not trusting people, I don't think is really the solution. But learning how to build the strength needed in case someone was to betray your trust, I believe is far more important. Because the truth is, sometimes in life, certain people are going to betray your trust and make you lose trust in them. But having the strength and knowing that you're going to be okay after this anyways is what matters. And this allows you to be able to try again in the future and trust one more time. Number 8, instead of my dad telling me how one day when I grow up, I would understand the efforts that it takes to make money and how we don't print money in our house, etc., but instead teaching me how money works growing up. Fortunately or unfortunately, we need money for everything in life. You want to travel to that nice destination, you need money. You want a roof over your head and food in your fridge, you need money. So I wish I would have learned how to invest money from the time I was maybe 6, 7, maybe 9 years old, instead of growing up and struggling with it when I was older. I mean, I still consider myself lucky because when I was 19, I ended up in the financial industry, which actually helped me a lot with understanding how money works and what are the right ways of investing and managing and budgeting my money. Number 9, how to manage my stress and anger. I mean, looking back at it now, I wouldn't say they were so good at it themselves to begin with anyways, but it would have been nice for them to learn and teach it to me. In life, you can face a lot of challenges and obstacles, and while trying to overcome them, you can feel stressed, angry, and frustrated. And we all know having constant anger and stress, it's not good for your mental health or your physical body. But I guess I had to lose sight of my health for a bit of time in order for me to learn my lesson. Number 10, I wish they would have taught me how to choose the right partner for myself, so I would have been more careful in terms of who I chose to have a relationship with. I feel especially in the Middle Eastern culture, this is such a taboo topic, and your parents don't really teach you any of these things, and it's almost like you have to figure it all out by yourself. Except them telling you to not have a boyfriend when you're too young, or to not just trust any guy because they could actually hurt you or take advantage of you. I didn't really learn anything more than that from them anyway. However, by being in their lives and looking at the choices they made in their life, it actually taught me a lot of good lessons. Number 11, it's okay to make mistakes, and trying to avoid failing is worse than failing itself. Because when you don't take risks that comes with failing or making mistakes, you're going to be stuck where you are in your life right now for the rest of your life. Because you're not giving yourself a chance to live your life in any other way. I wish they would have taught me that this is a part of the process of becoming someone successful, and the faster I make the mistakes, the faster I know what works and what doesn't in order for me to achieve the goal that I desire. Number 12. Don't worry about the people who don't like you. Some people don't even like themselves enough or don't know how to show themselves love, let alone you. Number 13, in order for you to have a successful relationship, you both gotta be willing to work through the challenges together and not expect to have a good, happy relationship handed to you, but instead be willing to put in the effort, time, and energy it takes to build that beautiful bond together. Number 14, don't be scared of what's next or uncertainty. God always has the best plan for you. So all you gotta do is focus on doing your part of putting the effort into what you wanna do and make sure you give it your all and leave the rest to God and believe and have faith that He's gonna deliver. So basically your worry or concern is not helpful or healthy anyways. And next, don't be afraid to ask what you want. You ask and you shall receive. If you want a friend or a partner to put in more effort into the communication that they have with you, into the relation they have with you, ask them to do it. Don't expect them to know. Don't expect them to read your mind. This sometimes actually becomes the root cause of unnecessary drama and challenges in friendships or relationships. Even though I say I wish my parents would have taught me these lessons a long time ago or early on in life, I understand that by wishing and hoping nothing is going to change in my life, and that's why I took matters into my own hands long ago. And I learned how to use my experiences as lessons and wisdoms in my life. So don't wish things were better, my friend. Wish you were better and work yourself up, work your way up to that version of yourself you admire. Also, would love to know what are some of the things you wish your parents would have taught you growing up. Let me know in the comments. I love you all. Until later, bye.
Tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart.